G'day, how the bloody hell are you? It is CrackAFruity and I'm back with some more Crysis 3. I'm using the Typhoon as my weapon of choice here with a red dot sight and a foregrip. So far it seems to be my favourite gun and my favourite weapon setup. I'm only at about level 20, I don't even know, 22, 24, somewhere there. And I've unlocked some further weapons beyond this, but I always come back to the Typhoon. It's not fantastic over long range, but yeah, it's such a laser beam, there's very little recoil, and it fires a ridiculous amount of rounds per second. You'll see that my clip at the moment is 500 rounds, but watch how quickly those 500 rounds disappear when I'm holding the trigger down and laying into someone. So you get a lot of rounds on target very quickly, and even if you have to fire over distance, you can burst fire. There's minimal recoil and you're still getting a load of rounds in, so yeah, at this point in time, and it is very early in the game, I do want to emphasise that, but the Typhoon is probably my favourite weapon at the moment. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Crysis 3. Now, in my previous video, I talked about how I think YouTube needs a new FPS, a new first-person shooter, a contender, something that's going to, you know, entertain people, that is an alternative, I suppose, to Call of Duty and Battlefield 3. And I think it's really good. I've had a lot of positive feedback about that. I've had a lot of people agree with me, and also just people I've spoken to in real life also sort of feel the same way, that Battlefield 3 videos, as good as they are and as good as the game is, you know, it is something that people have seen a hell of a lot of. And Black Ops is already sort of dying out a little bit in terms of popularity that I've noticed. You may not agree with that, but that's sort of how I've seen it. So yeah, it seems to have been well received that this is a potentially new player on the YouTube scene. So hopefully some of you have got it by now, or certainly are aiming to. And you know, I'd love to see as many people on this game as I can. So far, it really seems fantastic. There's been a couple little glitches, but very, very minor. Like when you first spawn into a game, at the very beginning of a game, your gun doesn't fully load properly, and also I've had a few issues where, you know, I've picked up an alien weapon, and when I'm trying to drop that and quickly swap back over to like the Typhoon, for example, then there is a huge lag sometimes, and your gun just physically won't show up on the screen at all. It just, you have no weapon, so you actually have to hit triangle, which on the PlayStation is swap weapon, to bring up your pistol, and then you can go back to the Typhoon and that sort of thing. But these alien weapons are absolutely awesome. They're just lying around the place. You see there, I've just picked up a triple kill with this thing. It is a beast of a gun, but it does have low ammo, so I'm going to throw it down here. And I do think later on I stupidly pick it back up and, yeah, I don't know, brain fart. Ooh, look at this, a new gun, and then I, yeah, throw it down again. But anyway, it's a huge amount of fun. I think it's a really cool aspect that they've added that in. I'm really enjoying the cloak and the armor and that sort of thing, trying to get your timing right, because you can't run around with your cloak on the whole time, and you know, it's sort of a tactical thing. You got to run around whilst you can without the cloak on. Then just as you're going into combat, you cloak yourself, find your target. As you run in, I tend to quickly swap from cloak to the max armor, and then get in the gunfight that way. It seems to work fairly well for me so far. It's probably saved me a few times. I just think that's a really cool aspect of the game, something you don't have obviously in Battlefield or Call of Duty or whatever, where you're just going to throw a grenade at them. And believe it or not, as much as you might think the cloak would attract campers, and I really did think that there was going to be campers galore, I thought you just sit in the corner, because basically when you're not moving, it counts down your energy, that is, because obviously these things are on an energy timeline, which you'll see down on the right hand side. You've got your score, everything like that. The bottom of that, there's a bar, which is your sort of your power bar, and as you turn your cloak on or your armor on, whatever the case may be, that slows down. And the more you run and jump and shoot and do everything else with that, the quicker it goes down. But if you sit still in the same spot, it counts down very, very slowly. So I thought, you know, it's going to be it's going to be really appealing to campers who want to just sit around and be arseholes and sit in the corner. And as much as there has been a few of those, I think the level design itself kind of you know, helps stop that, helps avoid that, because there are so many different paths you can take, and of course you can jump really high, so you can, there's always up and down, and it's just not, I don't know, it doesn't pay off well to be a camper in this game. So I think that's also very, very cool. Now, unfortunately, despite the amount of fun I've been having with Crysis 3, it is not a perfect game. I think there is one large omission that is kind of frustrating. One thing that they really fucked up when they made this game is there is no regional matchmaking. So it means in the vast majority of games I play, I'm getting matched up with people from America and Europe and stuff like that. And then, of course, because the internet in Australia is so shit, it always gives the host to these overseas people because their internet is better and more stable and whatever else. Which means myself and all the other Australians and New Zealanders in our lobby end up with one bar of ping. Orange or yellow if you're lucky, and red if you're not. And that does kind of suck because it means going forward, the 99% of games are going to be really bad ping for me. So that is one shitty thing which I hope they can fix. I don't know if they can or not. I don't know if that's a patchable type of thing, but whatever. That is a downside. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this gameplay. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you next time.